Check in the building. You know it's your boy Real Vibes TV there in I live in colors. As you all roll in, like up the live, share out the live, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel. So as you all know, we have a few news updates for today. Yeah man, the birth rate in Jamaica is currently declining. Yes, it is in a critical state at the moment. Yeah, individuals in Jamaica need to start having more kids. And also, we need to speak about the economy in Jamaica, what's going on with the economic in Jamaica. Apparently, Andrew Holness say the economy is on the upward trend. Yes, that's what Andrew Holness said, people. That's what Andrew said. And that is a good look. So, what's happening now? Them say the economy post Hurricane Melissa is nearly back at it was in the beginning of 2026. Cause remember, Hurricane Melissa going at the ending of 2026. So yeah, man. Big up yourself in a Lataya in the building, and we have a whole lot of things to talk about. Lataya, let me know how the volume sound. Yeah, hear me loud and clear. Let me know. Like up live as on the rolling, please, and thank you. Appreciate everybody we are checking on the live. So we're back to covering all of the news in regards to Jamaica and all around the world. Boy, me no advice if the people them not have jobs, the government now provide nothing for the people them. Yeah man, Lataya, be a thing a go on. You say loud and clear? Alright, that is it. That is it. Yeah man, checking on the building, YouTube, send out with notification them. So we have a few updates, people. As me say, we're gonna try to do this thing at least say 4 times a week when it comes to the live streams. So we also having a shortage of doctors. Yeah, cause as you know, yesterday we did the live streams and we make you know say Jamaica has decided to end the contract with Cuba. That means say over 50 plus medical professionals are no longer in Jamaica. But as I stated yesterday, why did they not put nothing in place? Where is the contingency planned? Something can go, sir. How does that make sense? You're going to get rid of 50 plus medical professionals and you're not going to replace them immediately or at least extend the contract for a month and then like me not understand people. Some strange things going on in the country right now. Yeah man, like up a live as on a roll in. YouTube, send out a notification, please, and thank you. Yeah, so declining birth rate to talk about today, and also the economy recovering in Jamaica, and also we're gonna pull up some history videos of where Jamaica is coming from and a whole heap of things. So check in the building, people, and big up on the damn self. Made no sense. The L system was bad. This is bad. Yeah, man, Lataya, can you imagine? Remember, I know one of the main reasons why a lot of people don't want to return to Jamaica at the moment is because of the medical system. Remember also when it comes to the politician, when nothing wrong with them, even if they catch a little flu or a little cold, even if they need a surgery, they don't use the Jamaica medical system. They don't use the Jamaica system. They fly all the way to United States of America. So just imagine if the healthcare facilities and the infrastructure and also the people was even poorly trained and there was a lack of medical professionals in Jamaica. What's going to happen right now when 50 plus Cubans gone back at them yard? Yeah, because the contract end, no more. So, yeah, quite a few things to talk about. I'm going to be doing some side tracks. So check in the building, people. We have 5 people here so far. Please like up the live stream. You don't know we're doing the Jamaica news update. Yes, them just have full to the orange, man. Yeah, man. 100%. But to be honest, when it comes to them falling to the orange man, I feel like Andrew never had a choice. But I don't think we need to abandon Cuba completely. You know, end of the day, they are our neighbors. We also have a lot of history, have 50 plus years with history with Cuba. So I don't think they should just completely kick the people out of the country and cut all ties with Cuba. Because what's happening in America right now, they don't want no country doing no business with Cuba. So again, yeah, I don't believe we should leave Cuba out in the cold. It's not right, because Americans and their politicians can be bully. Yeah, them love to bully people too much. Yeah. So big up on yourself, people. Like up the live stream. You don't know. We soon get into the news, giving you all the daily news updates in Jamaica and all across the world. We're also going to give you all a bit of history on Jamaica. Today, we're going to play you all some video clips of where Jamaica is coming from. And his hashtag today, Make Jamaica Great Again. Yeah, man, we need to make Jamaica great again. We have a beautiful country and we need to get Jamaica back kicking again. You know what I mean? Get the culture great again. Get the whole country great again. Definitely. So like up live, big up Lataya in the building. You don't know anything go already. Yeah. YouTube, send out a notification, please, and thank you. So we're gonna go into it right now, people. We're not gonna waste no time. As I said, we're probably gonna be here for an hour or an hour and a half. So please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. That's all you have to do for today's live. So give me a moment. We're gonna be pulling up a few articles, playing a few videos, and also giving our perspective on what's going on in the country right now. Because one thing with Jamaica, yeah, they never out of news. They always have news. Yeah, that's one thing with Jamaica for sure. All right, all right, all right. Donovan, big up yourself, you know, Donovan. Big up yourself, you know, my G. Big up yourself. Okay, so we're going to put that right there. Okay. So this is an article from Nationwide right here, and it states, there's nothing in it for the poor. Argument will be used to criticize the finance minister budget. Remember, currently, the 2026 budget in Jamaica is going to be read to the public. So when I talk about the 2026 Jamaica budget, you know, I this so them are gonna tell you where the money are gonna go, where them are gonna spend upon, what them are plan to, what investment them are plan to bring into the country. Basically, the budget is where the money is gonna go to. You know, how much money they're gonna spend on healthcare, how much money they're gonna spend on education, how much money they're gonna spend on policing. So the 2026 budget, a lot of people are criticizing it at the moment. So we're gonna play this video and get some perspective on what's going on the ground right now. Because one thing, you know, remember, a lot of us is abroad. We don't know what the hell is going on in Jamaica. So right now, as I said, we're gonna be doing this at least 4 times a week. So like, share, and subscribe. So this person is saying that a lot of people is criticizing the 2026 Jamaican budget because they must say there's nothing in there for the poor. But when has any budget include poor people? Doesn't matter what country you go to. These so-called politicians of any country in the world, they don't care about poor people. The only time they care about poor people is when they need votes, is when they need to be elected in office. That's all. Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump personally even let me down. The man come out and said no more wars, now get America involved in a no wars, put America first. And look what's happening right now in the Middle East. Look what's happening right now. The man is literally ruining his legacy. So the only time these politicians across the world, including Jamaica, the only time they care about poor people is when they need our votes. That's all. They only tell the people them what they want to hear. Them 1 year, a couple months in the office, them completely change. And when you look upon them manifesto, you know, the manifesto is the pledges they made to the people of what they're going to do for them. Couple months, then get in the office, a year, then get in the office, and it's like nothing ever happened. So these people are pathological liars. So we're gonna play this video here. Okay, let's turn off that sound right there. Okay, boom bang. Audio.
The budget doesn't have anything for the poor. And don't balk at that position. Listen first to what the prescription is as to how to better help the poor in the budget before you criticize. That will come. I will say that this budget too, as someone with the benefit of a tertiary level education, as someone who has been captive to income tax from the moment I started working, for somebody who has always worked 3 and 4 and 5 jobs, and everything you work, you have to give the taxman, or no, in this case, the taxwoman, a piece. And I'm not pleased with that, but you have to honor your obligations. You can understand why people like me feel a type of way every cycle when all you hear is about, oh, this is not for the poor and not for the poor and this, that, as if we should have stayed poor and not try to lift ourselves up. And budget after budget, you hear nothing for people like us, the people who hold the country together with our taxes and our endeavor. Yeah? This budget presentation from the finance minister different from the fixation with doing this for the poor at the expense of every other group in the country. And of course, they're not knocking poor. We were all poor. Some of us who've managed to do a little bit better. And I live by the words that of Jay-Z, yeah, gone to hip hop again. He said, I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. And I certainly believe in that. And it is it's a truth that people don't speak because they don't want people to criticize them. So, oh, you don't love poor people. Of course, we came from that bracket. Our family members still qualify and classify as that. But we're saying that those in the country whose work and whose revenue help to fund the activities of this country, we too deserve something and not to be made to feel as if we have done wrong by improving ourselves. All in all, the budget was unspectacular, it was steady, and it had the kind of tone that a budget presentation ought to have. Nobody should have diarrhea or body come down after a budget presentation by their finance minister, and I doubt strongly that anybody had those things ailing them on Tuesday. What you will hear.
Okay, so I'm giving you some more context on what's going on right here. So I think recently them present the budget, the 2026 budget, the Jamaica budget, and then break down a lot of things where them are gonna put tax plan on what they're gonna spend on. So this individual is complaining because the citizen of the country is stating that there's nothing in the budget for poor people. But that has always been the case. Sometimes you have to wonder if somebody's radio host is out of touch. Let me remind you, decades and decades, Jamaica has barely evolved. It evolved, the tourism sector evolved, yes, but when it comes to changing, say for instance, the middle class lives in Jamaica, not change. So you depend TV are complaining about people criticizing the budget, but I didn't look through the budget completely. But me know for a fact said these budget they never include poor people or care about improving the lives of poor people. It's always focused on taxing the people them more. That's facts. It's always focused on foreign investment. That's facts. Decade after decade, when has there been a time in the last 30 years where Jamaicans' lives has completely improved? Again, there's never been so many Jamaicans that leave Jamaica style. In the last say 20, 10 years, amount of Jamaicans left the country. And there's a reason for that. Because there's no opportunity in the country. So these people are always say, yo, poor people and the citizens are always criticizing the government budget because there's never nothing in the budget for the average man, for the average woman, for the middle class. There's never nothing there. Long time I left Jamaica, I still go back and forth, but every year I go back, the roads them are the same in a most community. The infrastructures them are the same in a most community. The only places we are change are Kingston and probably Montego Bay. But the local space, them is Chinese, them are buy it out. Them are moving their mechanic and a whole heap of things. So again, the people who are right to complain. Again, there's a reason why so many Jamaicans leave Jamaica, even go to other small island like say Trinidad, Bahamas, and all of these other countries, Turk and Caicos, Cayman Islands. Like Jamaica has so much potential. The budget, they need to start making it for the average citizen and the working class. Keyword the working class. Because what these governments don't understand, the more you improve the lives of the working class, the better the country is going to be. People not going to want to work if them unhappy. People not going to want to work if they can barely pay them bills and send them kids to school. So these governments in the Caribbean, they fail to understand that if you improve the lives of the middle class in your country will eventually become successful because people are going more happier, people are going to also have more spending power, them can go they go purchase more things, take care of their families, and the country will eventually be better. There's a reason also why the birth rate is declining in Jamaica, is because people cannot even afford to have a big family anymore. So and one thing to it, people like up a life, they please and thanks. Yeah man, Lataya, a lot of these countries, especially in the Caribbean, always make the mistake thinking that, oh, all we need is foreign investment. No, improve the lives of your citizens. It will make the country better. Look on like a country like Sweden. There's examples out there, And there's this other country in Europe. I think they're the richest country in Europe. I think it's Sweden, because per capita, I think they earn the most per capita in the world. Me sure of Sweden. Anybody here that know can correct me. If it's not Sweden, it's not Denmark. I'm sure it's Sweden. Yeah, but Sweden, they earn the most per capita, and it's one of the most happiest country in the world. You know, because the government is focused on improving the lives of their citizens. When the citizens are happy, when the middle class and keyword working class is happy, the country eventually is going to become more successful. The birth rate going to increase because now people can actually take care of their family. Because most people, believe it or not, they don't want millions and trillions of dollars. They just want to live comfortable. They just want to raise one, two, three kids and they're good to go. But these governments and employers, like, they don't offer nothing much. They give you the bare minimum, especially in Jamaica. Like a lot of these call center agents and a lot of these people that work in KFC and these wholesales, they're getting paid below minimum wage. Can't even take care of their family. Their wages are not keeping up with inflation. Yeah. So again, I don't blame the citizen for criticizing the 2026 budget, even though I not see it in its entirety yet. But there's a pattern. It's been decades, it's been years, and Jamaica hasn't improved for the average citizen. That's facts. I mean, here them put 31% tax on local bag juice. You see what I'm saying? They're always choosing to tax the poor that don't have it in the first place. But anyway, all right. So look at this right here. So let's zoom out right here. Let's zoom out right here. So, okay. All right. So Jamaica needs to import or train more doctors to replace Cubans. Jamaica need to import or train more doctors to replace Cubans. The health minister already answered this yesterday. He strictly only pointed at recruiting more aggressively international. For some reason, Jamaica don't believe in training up their citizens. A lot of these companies like JPS, they can name the industry in Jamaica. They rather go get outside help or pay how much money for outside so-called specialists to come in the country and be doctors or electricians, whatever, but they're unwilling to give out training programs in Jamaica, which they don't understand how critical that is for even the success of the country. Offer apprenticeship programs, offer traineeships. Everybody know how important these are. Because more than likely, if someone come to you for an apprenticeship or a traineeship, in the next 2 to 3 years, you know for a fact they're going to be a productive person in society because they're going to gain the skills and they're going to be employed in that specific sector. So, Jamaica, again, there need to be a law that held some of these employer accountable. They need to start training more Jamaicans, giving up more traineeship, etc. Cause we see it with JPS. Remember, say when Hurricane Melissa hit, they had to go to Canada and hire thousands, if not hundreds, of linemen. They call linemen. The man them will fix up the electrical cables, put back up the post and everything. Jamaica hasn't got enough staff. They haven't got enough linemen. So Jamaica could do better on that end. And again, go back to what I said earlier. That's one of the reasons why a lot of Jamaicans leave the country because there's no opportunities. A lot of people leave school in Jamaica with no much qualification and can't get no job. So the government need to put some sort of law in place, like something in place where these businesses need to start offering more traineeship and apprenticeship. Because if you're not training up your people to do the work for your country, I mean, what does that say about the country? You know what I mean? It's gonna be a eventually downfall. All right. So yeah, so Jamaica needs to import or train more doctors to replace Cubans, and this is quite foolish because you would have think if they knew that they was going to end the program, why did they not put contingency plan in place? Well, Jamaica is not a real place as they always stated. The Medical Association of Jamaica, MAJ, says that the country will either need to import or train professionals to replace those on the way out following the end of the medical partnership with Cuba. MAJ President Professor Marvin Reed told host Chevron Campbell that nurses make up a majority of the workforce of the now cancelled program. So again, the program will recently get cancelled with Cuba. Majority of the medical professionals were nurses. You see how crazy that is? Can you all imagine that a place like Jamaica, we have so much nurses across the world that they would have a shortage of nurses? Remember, with either America, UK, Europe, you're going to any hospital and you're sure if you see a whole heap of Jamaican nurse because that's one of the professions that Jamaican women especially excel in. Like on a bounce of probability, you meet a Jamaican woman that's working in a first world country, most likely she's going to be studying nurse or she's a nurse already. So it's crazy that they have to even import nurses in Jamaica when we know for a fact that a lot of young woman in Jamaica is interested in becoming a nurse. But guess what? They probably can afford to do it. They probably know our opportunities. But it's so crazy. Why do we need to import so many nurses when we have a whole heap, a talent pool to pick out? Like one of the craziest thing is Jamaica is one of the strangest places, man. Nurses out of all of the professions. Come on, man. We know for a fact that Jamaicans not short on Jamaica not short on nurses. It's just that probably possibly the opportunities are not there. Pepper Skull. Big up yourself in a Pepper Skull. They upon the work, I listen. Yeah man, Pepper Skull. You don't know. Some brain food we there with today though. Yeah man, yeah man. Yeah, so they are I'll give the people some updates on the news what go on the ground, you know what I mean? All the latest news across the world too, that go already. So big up yourself in a Pepper Skull for checking out the building. Like up a life for me, the people, please and thank you. So again, people. Hashtag make Jamaica great again. We country nice, The place nice, I just one and two things need to fix, people. That's all. I know what things need to fix, One and two things need to fix and Jamaica nice again, you know what I mean? Get the healthcare booming again. You know? Get rid of the corruption. Give the people them more opportunities. And watch how Jamaica great. Watch how people from Canada, America, Europe start fly down and help how much business. You know what I mean? Also, them need to fix up the crime rate too. Yeah. So there's a few things where if them fix the crime rate in Jamaica, if them fix the medical um facilities in Jamaica, those two things alone will make a whole heap of people start forward back at Jamaica and them thousands and hundreds. Remember, you have a lot of educated Jamaicans abroad. We can't wait to come back home. I mean, I tell you from first hand experience. But the reason why some of these people don't come back because it's either the crime rate too high, corruption in the country, the medical facility is just not there yet. You know what I mean? So couple things fixed in Jamaica right now. Jamaica great again, the culture great again. Nobody no want to travel and going on a freezer. Who would want to leave a tropical place where sunny 99% of the time and go somewhere like UK where it's freezing and raining and wet all the time and depressing in most cases? You buy a one-bedroom house in some of these countries for like $500,000. Who would want to live that life? And once you take a mortgage out on that house, you're trapped for 30, 40 years. Nobody don't want to live in no goddamn first world country. Most Jamaicans want to return, but one of the reasons we can't return because these politicians seem like they can't get it right. They seem as if them, me no know. Like, Somebody there behind them I control them. Like, we don't have decades. Andrew only seen a power twice now. And nothing much hasn't changed. As I said, yeah, the airport upgrade, yeah, the hotel them get bigger, but for the average citizen in Jamaica, not much no change. And again, them can do it. They just don't want to do it. There's examples out there like El Salvador were totally change and turn around their country from being one of the most corrupt and violent societies. And you tell me that Jamaica can't do it. And it's not like our crime rate is like out of here or the country is failing already. So these politicians can do it, but they don't want to, or they're just incompetent. Those are the only two things we can figure out. Is either them not want to do it, is either them get control, or they just incompetent. They just don't have the skill to do it. Think about it. If El Salvador can turn around from becoming one of the most murderous countries in the world, one of the most corrupt country in the world, if them can turn around their country in a less than a few years, yeah, tell me that Jamaica can't fix these little things. No, man, something alright. Something alright. They wouldn't be any good working environment for them even come back to hospitals in bad condition. Yeah, hospital is a main one, you know what I mean? If your medical facilities is not up to standard, then nobody now go on forward back. Me know a lot of people from Europe sometimes, yeah, they want to move back a yard and they might go spend a month down there and them still have to order them prescription drugs from Europe. They must fly back to the UK, get them prescription again, and then fly back down because Jamaica, even though they don't even have certain medicines, you know what I mean? Which is quite strange. And again, it's because the government is not investing in that industry. They're prioritizing other stuff, you know? But nonetheless, we have a few articles to go through. So this is the video. Patients was turned away from St. Joseph Clinic due to no Cuban doctors. And again, Jamaica already start to feel the disadvantage of cutting the contract with the Cubans. Listen for yourself. Here's the video. Look how much people outside. This is probably like what 50. How much people outside? Look how much people line up. Look how much people are get turned away. And notice what is the age group outside. Mostly the elderly is getting affected because Jamaica choose to cut the contract with Cuba because them of America are treat them like a puppet. Look at the video. So I don't know if you not hear the video, but someone in the background is saying that them can't give the people them a time. There's no timetable because again, there's a lack of doctors. And I don't know how Jamaica is going to say that they're going to recruit aggressively across the world for doctors because you don't just get medical professionals like doctors and nurses in the span of months. You know, they have to be vetted. Cause you can't let anybody come on Jamaica come operate on the people them. God know what them a do. Yeah. You can't go say I go, oh, I'm gonna go Ghana and Nigeria and hire 70 doctors or 70 nurses and make them come to Jamaica just to fill the spots. No, you have to vet them carefully. Cause some of these people they're not trained well. Again, like what I said yesterday, Cuban doctors are some of the best doctors in the world. That's facts. Cuban nurses are some of the best nurses in the world. That's facts. And a makeup thing. Big up yourself in no silent treatment. Big up yourself, my G. So as y'all can see, Jamaica already start to feel the pain. Patients was turned away from St. Joseph Clinic due to no Cuban doctors. You cannot make this shit up. Can't make it up. You cannot make it up. Jamaica is not a real place. And if we go over to the right here, give me a moment. The people I'm using a new device that automatically turn the camera. So yeah. So as we can see, someone in the comment section said no replacement doctors. Where are the doctors from America to replace the Cuban doctors? That is my same perspective that I hold. If America go come tell we say get rid of the Cuban doctors because the Cuban government is not following the law, then give us some replacement doctors. We don't see no hundreds or thousands of doctors and nurses flying from America to go to Jamaica. What can go so? So what that showing us say Jamaican government don't care about the citizens. In any other countries, riot would have gone because again, people looking at the crowd, them go over here, looking at the crowd. That's mostly elderly people. Look on a brother with the bald head. You can know say him elderly. Look, he got gray hair. Looking at the crowd, and mostly elderly people in that crowd. So if Jamaica so-called say them, oh, Cuban government is not following our laws and international laws, like it can't make sense. It just can't make sense, people. Ain't no point even trying to make sense of this. This is just hashtag Jamaica is not a real place. Because again, if America want we to get rid of 50 plus professionals, medical professionals, then replace them. At least give it 20 professionals from your country until we so-called recruit aggressively, because that's what the health minister Christopher Tufton said yesterday. He's planning to recruit internationally aggressively for more doctors and nurses. I'm telling this from now, people. They're not recruiting nobody. Let me be honest with you now. These people is not recruiting nobody. You see one thing with these politicians, they love to save money. Remember, a 40 yard, 50 yard professionals, them cut the contract with, Trust and believe, they're not recruiting nobody. Even if they're recruiting, for the 50 where they lose, they probably recruit 20 and say that's it. Or Jamaicans just gonna have to deal with it. Because if you can just cut a contract like that with no consideration of how people is going to get to their appointment, how people is going to do their surgery. Like, come on, man. The evidence is there, I show you video, People are get turned away from St. Joseph Clinic due to no Cuban doctors. And a one and two people outside, a whole heap of people outside. And that I want to look and understand. People, do me a favor, like up the live. We need more like on the live stream. The way you like the live stream, you need to tap the screen twice. So double tap on your screen right now to like up the live stream. If you're enjoying the coverage of what's going on in Jamaica and across the world, then just tap the screen twice for me. That's how you like up the live. Yeah, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Okay, so someone else said in the comment section, where are our Jamaican doctors? This exposes the country dependency on other countries. Facts. We should be able to stand on our own where healthcare is concerned. Jamaican doctors need to step their game up. Now you cannot blame the Jamaican doctors. It's up to the politicians to invest in the medical facilities and training up nurses slash doctors. It's not rocket science. You cannot blame the doctors. Of course, the doctors are there doing their jobs, but there's only a handful of Jamaican doctors, hence why they had to go all the way to Cuba to recruit over 50 odd nurses and doctors combined. So again, something is gravely wrong with Jamaica. Again, if you look in the crowd, it's not one, two people, and this is just one clinic. Bear in mind, this is just one clinic because you'd have other clinics and hospital that's being affected by this. And if this is just one clinic and how much people we see outside, just imagine other parishes. Y'all see it's making sense now, right? They didn't recruit before. They just cut the contract and send the people them at them yard. They never recruit before. They never put any contingency plan in place. America never bring their nurses and doctors to Jamaica. Not even one, not even two. Come on, man. This is wrong. In next election, Andrew have to come out of power. Yeah. Next election, Andrew have to come out of power. And again, at this point, I feel like we need some young, fresh faces in politics because we can't trust these old people anymore. Honestly, I feel like these Jamaican politicians are out of touch. Honestly, people. Honestly, I feel like some of these politicians are out of touch. A lot of these politicians, they're too old. They're out of touch. They don't know what they do. So we need some fresh faces in Jamaican politics. Cause when you're looking at the chambers, be old people in the Jamaican politics. We need some young, fresh faces We understand what the country I go through, what young people I go through, because young people is the backbone of any society. That's facts. Because the young people basically work so the old people them can retire. It's simple, everybody know this. That's why a declining birth rate hurt any country. Because enough young people is not being born to replace the elderly. That's facts. The IQ has gone up a little bit more. All right, so we're gonna stop right there because we have a few things we got through. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this segment, people, because I said I'm learning myself. You know what I mean? A lot of us leave Jamaica ages ago, and it's good to kind of keep in touch with what's going on the ground. So we're gonna go over to Mr. Donald Trump for just 3 minutes. So people, Donald Trump admitted something that completely shocked me. So remember, said this man got America and the world involved in a war in the Middle East, And can you believe that Donald Trump basically come out and I say he got tricked into starting a war with Iran? Can you believe this? Can you believe that this man is basically telling us that his cabinet basically kind of lied to him? He never said verbatim, but he might allude to that. But let me play the video. So, based on what Gerald Kushner told me, I thought Iran would attack us. Not not his intelligence agency, his effing son-in-law. That's what someone put in the article. Let me go over to the right here so you can see what going on. So, this is how frustrated people are. Trump, based on what Gerald Kushner told me, I thought Iran would attack us. Not his intelligence agency, his effing son-in-law. You can't make this shit up. People, like up a live for me, please and thank you. We have 90 people in here. Tap the screen twice to like up a live. We're giving you all the news in Jamaica, Caribbean, and all across the world. Okay? Tap up the screen to like up the live.
Based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and
That's completely nonsense. That's complete. This is crazy. Just imagine, the devastation that's happening with Iran right now is on a different level. So much places getting bombed, and this man is basically telling us that he got tricked into getting into a war. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Like, this is one of the craziest things me ever see. Remember, say also, allegedly, them bomb a school where they'd have a whole heap of little pitney night. Over 170 odd pitney will pass away. You don't know, we have to clean it up for YouTube purposes. So they got the country in a whole war because of what someone said, because they believed that Iran was going to attack them. And you basically start to decapitate the people in them country and take out them leader because of what one man said, not even an intelligent agency. Yo, that world, yeah, that world is crazy, And these are the people Jamaica government is taking order from. Donald Trump let a lot of people down. A lot of people was, believing in the dream when he say put America first. Because one thing, you have to respect him because he's a patriot. He putting country first. But what him do with the war in the Middle East, in completely ruining legacy. All of those service people will pass away. Like, what them pass away for in vain? For what? A foolish war? Because based on your son-in-law intelligence, Iran was going to attack first. So all of those people lost their life because of what? Nonsense. Madness. People, like up a live for me. And remember, you all can comment in the comment section. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. So we're going to move on from there because that right there is nonsense. So back to the Jamaican segment here. So reconstruction phase commence following aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. So as you all know, Jamaica went through the most devastating hurricane they have seen for over a decade. The most devastating natural disaster we've ever seen in Jamaica history. It was a Category 5 storm that completely ripped up the country part of Jamaica. When you talk about Westmoreland, Black River, Trelawney, those places got ripped apart by Hurricane Melissa. So now they're currently in the reconstruction phase. So Andrew Holness, I said that phase is now being commenced. Remember, we say, a lot of these land that people used to live on is not their land. It's called capture land. So now that these people are not on the land no more, they're going to build hotel and beaches on some of these sites in Black River. 'Cause remember, in the Black River, it's a beautiful place. Majority of the people them live on the coast. When we say coast, that means you have a beach right there, so you have a sun right there, so that's prime real estate right there. Prime. Yeah, man, that's prime real estate right there. Yep. So right now, them say them in the reconstruction phase. Yeah, you know, so they're not building also poor people, right? Yeah, man, reconstruction, I mean businesses, more hotel and all of these things. So let's read this article right here. So Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness stated, let's get the AI to read this. Okay.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has announced that the government has officially closed the recovery and relief phase following the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. The government will now shift its focus to reconstruction, including the distribution of grants under the Roofs program. This was disclosed during the official launch of the Chester Creek housing development yesterday, the 3rd of March. 1W.
Yeah, so y'all see that right there. The government will now shift its focus to reconstruction, including distribution of grants under the roof program. Yeah, so all that people that will lose them roof, they're going to get grants to possibly build it back. Let's see what's going on there anyway. So reconstruction phase. So okay, so Jamaican urged to remain vigilant amid Middle East dispute. Yeah, a whole heap of Jamaicans when you talk about flight attendants is currently in the Middle East. They're being stranded because if you don't know, because the war go on, there's a no-fly zone in these countries. Remember, say Saudi Arabia is a major tourist hub. Remember that country no see violence. You can leave your phone in a park and come back 3 days later and find your phone at the same place. So even in that case as well, America has completely ruined the credibility of some of these countries that used to support America. Yes, ruined the friendship with some of these countries. You know, as I said, Saudi Arabia was known to be one of the safest places on the planet. You could be at the park, you could be at the mall, you could be having dinner, you leave your phone on the table, you come back a day after, and you're gonna come back and see your phone, your purse, whatever you left there. And so crazy, America ruined the relationship with some of these countries because America wasn't even defending them. You know, start war in their region for nothing. Madness. But anyway, yeah, all the Jamaicans in the Middle East, be mindful. All right. Okay. What's going on right here? Cancer patient urged to consult doctors before using herbal remedies. Yeah, and want people go buy a whole heap of super drug things, yeah? Yeah. All right. Okay. Now, I think we can skip this one for now. Probably cover this one tomorrow. Okay. All right, let's go over here. So Christopher Tufton says Jamaica Cuba eye care program will continue despite end of Cuba deal. Again, Jamaican politicians, they just don't know how to be consistent. Orville Morgan, big up yourself in Orville Morgan for checking in the building. I appreciate you for being here. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We give you all the local Jamaican news and what's going on across the world. As you know, a lot of Jamaican is abroad and sometimes we want to keep up with the news on what's going on in the country, what's going on with the culture. So subscribe over here and tell a friend that we go live, say 4 or 5 times a week. We're gonna start covering the local topics in Jamaica, Caribbean, and all over. So yeah, subscribe. So right here, people, Tufton say Jamaica Cuba eye care program will continue despite end of Cuba deal. And again, this is the inconsistency I don't like with Jamaican politicians because remember, they said they ended the program because Cuba wasn't adhering to the law of Jamaica and also international law. Because according to Jamaica and America, they said whenever they would say, for instance, pay for these doctors and nurses from Cuba, the money is going straight to the system in Cuba and then trickling down to the doctors and nurses. So basically, them must say the Cuban doctors is basically Cuban system, politicians are taking advantage of the Cuban doctors and medical professionals, and also them say the Cuba system is holding on onto the doctor and nurses them passport whenever they send them to different countries. But only explain this to me. If that's the case, why only still keep the I program open? Would it not be the same thing for the I program? Like, you see the inconsistency I like with Jamaica people? Because this is right here a conflict, Because if they're going to say that they ended the program and send 50 nurses and doctors back to Cuba because of legal reasons, why them not end the Cuba Eye Care program if they care so much about laws? Because we know that this doesn't have nothing to do with no laws, because Jamaica and Cuba has been having a relationship for over 50 years, sending nurses and doctors to Jamaica. So again, this is the inconsistency I'm saying with Jamaica politicians sometimes. We know say are they something the government force them to do with them I do. Go in the book, worst minister Jamaica see. Long time, bro, that you people vote through. Yeah, some of these people I don't know, man. It's so strange because right here they're completely contradicting themselves right here. It's a total contradiction. One of the main reasons they said they cut the program with Cuba again, people, is because Cuba wasn't adhering to the legal laws of Jamaica and also international law. But again, explain to me why this article is saying that Tufton, which is the healthcare minister of Jamaica, says that Jamaica Cuba Eye Care program will continue despite of Cuba deal. I don't even need to even research this or read too much into it, because if Cuba is not following the law, then the I program also should be done with. So again, this is the hypocritical things that Jamaica politicians do. They can do these beerfront lies and these hypocritical things and go on like say we don't see. They don't treat Jamaicans as human beings. They feel like a lot of Jamaicans are basically borderline stupid, really. Yeah, like lack of life, people. So we're gonna move on from there, cause me tell that Cuban thing there. Too much lies these government tells, So right here, they must say, cabbies say brace for fear increase. Yeah, in Jamaica they are always raising up fear prices. I remember, Jamaica is currently 10 years behind because of what's going on with Hurricane Melissa. Yeah, the country totally is behind. Inflation rate is sky high. Food, yeah, literally 20K to go buy food in the shop to last you for a month in Jamaica is not enough anymore. You're gonna need like 30-40K for food in Jamaica to go buy groceries. Yeah. So someone in the comment section is saying that they might go start what because fear expensive in Jamaica, Remember when 100 or say 50 Jamaican dollar could have get it from one part of the island to the next part of the island, but no people fear increase. Yeah. So the cabbies them must say Jamaican public should brace for fear increases. So what they must say, President of Transport Operations Development Sustainable Services says commuters should brace themselves for a fear increase in the next few days. Then I give them a year, Them saying that the next few days Jamaican citizens should look out for a fear increase. Again, yeah, these people are not hard, man. In a matter of Hurricane Melissa go on, it doesn't matter if that go on at all. Yep, they don't care. But nonetheless, this is the country we living in, yeah, where people can just rise up things in a matter of days and hours, yeah, with no explanation. So someone in the comment section is also saying again, so it's like a regular them do these things. So again, all of y'all that's living abroad, next time when I go to Jamaica, look for your fear increase. Yeah, man. If we used to pay $100 last year, look for no pay all $300. If you go take a taxi, you know what I mean. I'll go on one of the JUTC bus them. Yeah, Jesus Christ, yeah, man. Then if you start get more donkey in a country, we can go back and travel upon donkey like back in the days. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Import more donkey in a country so people them can travel by donkey. That's a go on in the country right now, people. Yeah. They need to say import more donkey down to Jamaica, cause right now, not even donkey them would charge so much. And speaking about donkey, they need to get the real infrastructure in Jamaica. Yeah, get it back up and running. Why hasn't Jamaica got a train system? There's so much train tracks in Jamaica. Why they not getting a so-called in foreign investment for the rail service in Jamaica when that could dramatically improve the country? Remember, rail system is very key for a country, cause it not go just transport people, it's also going to transport goods and services. What me say? When you have a real system in your country, it's also going to transport goods and services more faster. The faster you can get it, the better. Yeah. So there's a lot of real system already in Jamaica. A lot of people don't know this, because remember back then, I think that was built by the British. Yeah. So Jamaica used to have a booming train business, and they also use the train to move around backside as well. But they can definitely expand the train services in Jamaica, They need to have a public train system in Jamaica. That would be perfect. Oh my God. Can you imagine, man? Traveling around in Jamaica in a train. No, man. Yeah, can you imagine that, people traveling around Jamaica in a train? Wow, that would be beautiful. Just imagine the sightseeing. Just imagine even the money you could get off of tourism. I might need to research that topic. Yeah, I think I'm gonna research that topic and come back with another live stream. What y'all think? Imagine having a train service in Jamaica, a public train service. That would also be amazing for tourism as well. And again, a lot of people don't know, in Manchester and a lot of these other parishes, you have a huge train network, a real network, and they can, and it's easily expanded too. Yeah. So we're gonna do more research on that and probably do a whole live about it. Do our due diligence and package it and come and share it to the live so we can see what's the level of train infrastructure in Jamaica already, or what's the plan if they do have any to expand the train network in Jamaica. But that would be great for the country. When you have a train system in a country, trust me, fantastic. Cause first of all, the traffic on the road are gonna get less. Cause now you're not gonna need, for instance, a lot of lorries and big truck for transport goods. Now you can use the train for transport the goods them. Just for instance, from Westmoreland to Kingston, from Kingston to St. James and all of these other parishes. So again, that's a good business idea right there. And it's not cheap, but you get a couple investors together, which Jamaican government is very good at doing. Just sell 50% to the Chinese like they love to do, and get the real infrastructure booming. Yeah. Cause one thing with the Chinese, them build things fast. Yeah, most definitely. So that's a good idea. So any future billionaires over here on Real Vibes TV, remember say me going on the idea there. Yeah, man, go invest in the rail infrastructure in Jamaica. Yeah, that would be a great money maker right there. And Jamaica have the land fee too. All right, we don't want to brace upon that too much. Let's go over here. Okay, so right here, people. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, man. The Bob Marley Greens right there. So y'all can see right there. JDF Coast Guard seizes 45 million worth of ganja in Manchester. Jesus Christ. Hold on, the people. Hold on, give me a moment there. I'm going to turn off my camera for a second. Hold on, give me a moment there, people. Subscribe to the channel. Where's my money effect? I need to find my money effect. Well, yeah. Okay, that's the money effect, people. Give me a moment right there. Yeah, we need to play that money effect. Yeah, cause right now, people. Let's get back on the camera right here. Okay. I'm loving this device that operate the camera. Yeah, it makes the live stream so much easier. So, yeah, man. 45 million worth of ganja in Manchester. Jesus, peace. Yeah, man. 45 mil. Cha-ching. Yes. Yeah, Jamaica is very known for that. The soil is very fertile for these lovely plants. Mhm. Um, Big up yourself, DDZDGS. The name the bad. It would be good to start it back up, but you don't really want too much outside investment because they can change the prices for fears at any time. Yeah, man, facts. I was only joking, making fun of the Jamaican politicians when I talk about outside investment, because you know that when it comes to our government, they love to do that. They they love to draw for foreign investment and sell out our country to the highest bidder. No, but in reality, it should be um invested by Jamaican, built by Jamaicans, you know what I mean? Because that's always better. I mean, I say you can't get one and two foreign investors, but majority of the shareholders should be Jamaicans. We should be benefiting more of our country. So now, man, that foreign investment thing, I was merely trolling the Jamaican government, because y'all know how them love foreign investment already. But that would be an amazing idea. As like, and again, just imagine the even how that would free up traffic in Jamaica if we get the rail infrastructure booming in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Especially even if it's not going to be in Kingston, we could have it all around the countryside in Jamaica. That would be amazing. Because again, if you don't know, there's already a huge rail infrastructure in Jamaica. A lot of it has been abandoned, and it hasn't been maintained for decades now. So doing a research on that, or am I gonna do a live on it probably in a few days or so, and do my due diligence, research it and package it and bring it to the live. So there's already a used infrastructure, real infrastructure in Jamaica. It's just that it has been abandoned over the years and poorly maintained. Yeah, man, but big up yourself, DDD. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So, all right, people, right here. So, JDF Coast Guard seizes 45 million worth of ganja in Manchester. So, if you don't know, Jamaica is a massive route for drugs. Yes, when you talk about a lot of the narco trafficking that's going on in Mexico and certain country, a lot of it pass through Jamaica. Because again, Miami is like 1 hour from Jamaica. Canada is right up there. So again, Jamaica is a major transnational route for drugs. That's just the facts. Yeah. And again, at this point, to be honest, they should just legalize it. I know them say they somewhat legalize it, but Jamaica should be one of the, say, top 3 countries in the world that's benefiting off of ganja. Yeah, because there's so much profit in it, people. Because nowadays, majority of the world I wake up, you know, instead of criminalizing it, they start to sell it right now. Even get a lot of products out of it also, and they're using it for medicinal use. Because remember, Jamaica is good for the growing of this plant right here because of the soil is very rich. Again, that goes without saying. I think it's world known. Plus, as well, we have a brand. When you talk about Rasta, you talk about ganja. So again, Jamaica can be the next Amsterdam, even better. Because again, our culture have that, that gravitational pull. A lot of people want to come to Jamaica just for that, which they do already, but they should just make it legalized more, you know what I mean? And also turn it into a mega business. Yeah. Don't wait on America for do it in other countries to do it. Again, we have the style feed, we have the reputation, and yeah. Who doesn't want to get their things from Jamaica? And the style is very potent. Yeah. But again, we don't want to it in the hands of the kids, because we know that once they legalize it, yeah, they have to do it in phases. All right. Let's move on from there. Okay. Like up a live for me, people, please and thanks. Okay, very important that you like up a live stream. Okay. So yeah, so this we get an update here. So Vaz says that government has alternative if JPS talk fail. So let me give you some backstory on what's going on here. Remember, JPS license is currently up for renewal. So JPS is currently in talks with the Jamaican government to get their license renewed. And as y'all know, when you talk about JPS, nobody at Jamaica not like them. Because them raise up people bill, Them bill people unnecessarily. Even when you not use the electricity, them are bill you unnecessarily. And also they have poor infrastructure in the country, and they've been here for so many years. So Minister of Energy Darrell Valls has declared that the government is not putting all its eggs in one basket as it embarks on negotiation with the Jamaica Public Service Company JPS for a new all island electricity license. So as y'all can see, Jamaica government and JPS is currently in the phase of renegotiating the contract, the license. So Vaz, which is the energy minister, told cabinet media briefing Wednesday that alternatives will be put in place in the event that the government and JPS do not agree to terms on a new license. Yeah, man, this is about time. JPS, they have a bad reputation. Over the decades they've been in Jamaica operating, they haven't done justice for the people. First of all, the light bill them way too high, and also when them realize you have a certain last name or your family have a certain wealth, them unnecessarily target you and put more upon your bill, which I think is very sickening. And them need to start get more smart meters in Jamaica. If you don't know what a smart meter is, what you use is what you pay for. So they need to start get that more in Jamaica, more widely distributed in Jamaica. Get smart meters operating in Jamaica. Yeah. And again, I'm telling you, people, this is all go back to what I was saying earlier, You see, if the country just fix up itself, if the government just do the right thing, you would have a lot of people from the diaspora returning with the knowledge of how to deal with these companies. And if they're not following the laws and doing the right to the public, we just fire them and put new people in charge. Cause sometimes, Jamaica tend to don't have a lot of great business minded people in our country. And they don't have traces too, because in most cases they might feel like, so we're stuck with JPS. Because if you realize, there's no competition with JPS, so we need to also have competition in the market. That's why I said there's no great business people in Jamaica, because there's no way JPS should only be the only energy provider in Jamaica, because then they're gonna have a monopoly on the system. That's why they can overcharge people, rob people, and all heap of things. So again, we need more competition in the market, because we know that when there's competition in the market, prices is go down, and then at least people have a choice. Now people have a choice. If JPS I put up your bill and them a treat you unfair, you can't go to no other company, because JPS, to my understanding, is the only energy provider in Jamaica. And also, just to upgrade the IQ of the conversation, this is why the people in Jamaica, if you're going to build a house in Jamaica, make sure you get solar panels. Yeah. Yeah, man, DDD, facts. Make sure if you're building a house in Jamaica, make sure you spend the extra money to get some solar panels where you're not dependent on the grid. Because JPS, trust me, them very thief. And this license, when them are renew with JPS, yeah, they need to make sure that they're very transparent with the public. We want to see every detail. We want to see everything. Because again, this is a matter of national security at the moment. Yes. Yeah. Because remember, people, the energy infrastructure in Jamaica is a licensing. I think the government still own majority share, if I'm not mistaken. So they can get new company to come in and renew license or take a license, whatever. But just that they just need to get more competitors also. Because we can't just depend upon one company. Because they're going to have a monopoly on the whole energy grid in Jamaica. So you can't switch and change. So if they can't switch and change, then the people in Jamaica should invest more in solar panel. Yeah. So you can get the energy from the sun. Because Jamaica is a tropical country. Yeah. But we don't want to tarry on that for too long. Okay. So this is what we want to get to, people. This is the main thing. The main title of the live right here. So right here we can see that they're saying that the Jamaican government should start paying families incentives or prepare for national decline. So I don't know if you don't know what's going on in Jamaica right now. There's a massive decline in the birth rate. Yeah, Jamaica is going through a huge crisis right now. Cause again, you need at least, me that say, you need 2 kids, 2 to 3 kids per relationship for the birthplace to get back to where it's more palatable for the country. Cause once a society is not having kids, down the line it's gonna be a problem. Cause you don't want to get into a situation like Japan, where your elderly population is huger than your younger population. No country can survive like that. So if there's not enough young people being born to replace the elderly, trust me, a country can fail miserably. Because we don't want to have to go to the worst case scenario where we're just importing people in Jamaica. We don't want that, because we don't really want to change our culture. And when they start importing people from all across the world in Jamaica just to fill labor gaps and just to make up the population, the country in the long term is going to decline. Because a lot of these people won't assimilate to your culture. And that's facts. So right now, this is one of the most serious things that's going on in Jamaica right now. Because when the birth rate start to decline, there's going to be problems. So according to the article here, them I say, for years I have warned about Jamaica dangerously declining fertility rate. It is encouraged to hear Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness now acknowledged what data has long been telling us. We are entering a demographic winter. When you hear that? When you hear that, right? This is very dangerous for any country, not just Jamaica. And this is not just a Jamaican thing. The world is currently going through this right now. Jamaica is entering into a demographic winter. Enough people is not being born, Back then in Jamaica, like 10 years ago, you know, Jamaican women used to have big families, 3 to 4 kids per household. Nowadays, they're not having kids like that. And there's a lot of things that contribute to the decline in birth rate. Because people can't feed themselves, can't feed them kids, can't support a multi household. So this is why they're saying that the government should give incentives. But this is what the Jamaican government don't understand. You need to invest into the younger generation in the country. As I stated in the earlier, in the live, you need to give out apprenticeship programs, give out traineeship programs where the young people can have a future. Because once they go through 1-2 year of a traineeship or apprenticeship, they know that they have a job at the end of that apprenticeship and also have a skill. They have a trade at the end of that apprenticeship and traineeship. But if there's no opportunities in the country, nobody not going to have kids, because what's the point of having kids if you won't be able to take care of them? That's why you have so much deadbeat father in Jamaica, because them choose to have 1 million kids and them can't take care of the kids them. That's one of the things that's completely ruining Jamaica. Yeah. So if the economy doesn't improve in the country where the middle class and the less fortunate is benefiting, then nothing not gonna change. The birth rate are gonna continue to decline. And we also, as a society, need to get back to gender roles, because nowadays woman are try to be man and man are try to be woman. Yeah, we need to get back to our gender roles. Gender roles are there for a reason. Yeah. Remember say God take one away from Adam and make Eve. Yes, we're not the same, we're different. Yeah. So someone in the comments I say, all young women, listen, don't let them fool you. The school system alone is gonna cost more than that. The books with the high taxes, the constant donations for school events, even when you pay school fee. Jamaica has become stressful for parents. And again, that sound like a feminist talking right there. Never you influence young women not to have kids, because at the end of life, guess what? The greatest fulfillment is going to come from having a family. You do not get true fulfillment from your work. If it's not your job or your business, you don't get true fulfillment from working for somebody. So again, I realize that there's also an attack on the woman them too. Because here we are going now, viewers and subscribers. You have agenda that's being pushed on the young woman them nowadays, where is saying like you have certain groups of people telling the young woman them in these countries saying, oh, live your life. Oh, you should prioritize education over having a man and having a husband. No, you should always prioritize a family first. And that don't mean say you have to neglect the education. It don't mean that. And we all know after a certain age, a woman start lose a certain percentage of eggs. That's facts. That's facts. I think after 32 or 33, I think a woman lose 40 or 50% of her eggs. That's going to make her more difficult to conceive a child. So there's a huge agenda being pushed on the female population of Jamaica and all across the world not to have kids and also to leave kids until later. But take it from me, any woman we are watching right now, you're not gonna regret it. You know? You're not gonna regret it. You both things can be true. You can also work, find a good husband, you know. Don't go for the bad boys, ladies. Don't go for the bad boys. Pick someone where you know that's gonna be good for you, not someone that's gonna be good for your emotions. Yeah. Cause a lot of the time the woman them can make mistake too. They run to the bad boys, and then when they start get old, no, them want go for the so-called good guys, but sometimes it's too late. But again, both things can be true. Y'all can prioritize education and you can also prioritize a family. But don't listen to these groups when them are telling us say, oh, don't worry about having kids, live your life, girl. Oh, you don't have to prioritize a family, you're young, live your best life, YOLO. Oh, you can have kids later on. It's 2026. You can freeze your eggs. Don't listen to them, ladies. It's all a lies. And also, there's an agenda being pushed on men also, you know? Kids are good. That's what being true fulfillment. So, hopefully, our country can sort this out. Because, again, if the birth rate is going to decline dramatically, it is not easy to recover. I want to make that clear because remember, every decade you have people that's going to leave the job market, and they're going to be claiming pension. That means that they're going to be dependent on the state, draining the state resources. And if there's not young people being born that's putting it back into the state, then the elderly people, they're going to be too much trained on the system. So who don't understand what me I say? When you have more elderly people than young people in your society, that's going to cause a problem because, again, you need young people to basically replace the elderly people. Because in one way, we are pay them pension right now. Because remember, they're out the workforce, and also they're going to be in need looking after as well. So it's a whole thing to it, people. So Jamaica need to get back to it, you know what I mean? Get the birth rate booming again. For sure, for sure, for sure. Okay. There were some stories that we was gonna cover today, but I don't think we're gonna get to all of the stories them people. So but members wanna need to subscribe to the channel because we are give some important updates on what's going on in Jamaica right now. So this is one of the articles we also wanted to get to. So the article stated Jamaica's economy expected to return to growth in 2026 to 2027. So right now Jamaica is back on track. So even though Hurricane Melissa completely devastated the country, at least we can see that we're back on track. So before we play the video, we're gonna read out what this article is saying just to get some context.
Minister Williams said the primary impetus for this is the speed with which the economy is rebounding following the devastation caused by Category 5 Hurricane Melissa in October of last year. Madam, I do not believe that anyone who traveled to Western Jamaica to look at the devastation would have believed then that we would be expecting positive GDP growth for the full fiscal year 2026-27 given the devastation. Williams said, Madam Speaker, that is the result of a government that leads from the front, businesses that take responsibility for their value to the Jamaican people, and a population that knows what it is like to get up and go.
Both PIOJ and the Bank of Jamaica have had positive revisions to the GDP estimates. The primary impetus for this is the speed with which the economy is rebounding. For the new fiscal year, which will start on April 1, 2026, fiscal year 2026-27, the PIOJ projects that the economy will return to growth in the range of positive 1 to 2%. Madam Speaker, I do not believe that anyone who traveled to Western Jamaica to look at the devastation the day after the hurricane would have believed then that we would be expecting positive GDP growth for the full fiscal year 2026-27, given the devastation that was before their very eyes.
All right, so that's good right there. So at least from what they're saying, the country is in a positive upwards trend. So Jamaica recover, even though Hurricane Melissa completely destroyed the west side of the country. At least by them say April, yeah, the country fully recover. But we also know that a lot of money was borrowed, billions, if not millions of dollars was borrowed, lent to Jamaica. So we still have that to pay back as well. So that's one of the reasons why the economy is recovering very fast, because of the amount of money we borrow.
Madam Speaker, that is a result of a government that leads from the front. Businesses that take responsibility for their value to the Jamaican people, and a population that knows what it is like to get up and go. And so, Madam Speaker, I say to the people of Jamaica, you have our assurance that no matter to what level the price of a barrel of oil goes, this government has the leadership, capacity, and capability to lead Jamaica safely through any storm, oil price increase, or any other geopolitical issues that come our way. You have the evidence of our leadership. You can bank on us. Madam Speaker, this budget for the new fiscal year is one that I've defined as a turning point, a critical juncture, or a time when the results of actions or decisions truly make an impact.
Okay, so that's good. Again, I need to pull up the Jamaican budget for 2026. I need to find that budget. I need to get that budget. I need to read through that budget. So on the next live I'm gonna do, possibly tomorrow, people, I'm gonna pull up the Jamaican budget for 2026. We need to look into that budget. We need to find out what's in it, what them I gonna spend on, what them I gonna raise taxes on. So look out for that live possibly tomorrow. As I said, we're trying to do 4 to 5 lives a week. So if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. You all see the title, Jamaica News Update, World Updates, and also we do dancehall music as well. So if you're interested in music, subscribe to the channel. Yeah. So we vlog dancehall over here also. So we merely right now just really kind of extending the platform. You understand? Because we can't just talk one way. We have to diversify. You understand? Yeah. You can't just invest in a banana. You have to invest in a yam. You have to invest in a potato. You have to invest in all type of things. So what we're doing right now, people, we're merely just covering the globe right now. We're going to give you all the weekly news updates. When it's time to cover dancehall, we're going to cover dancehall as well. So all of my dancehall viewers, nothing no change. We're still there. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I really enjoy covering the news. You don't know Real Vibes, that guy like that I like brain stimulating things. Yeah, that's why you see that we pull up all type of stats when it comes to dancehall music, and we enjoy these things. So again, we're just diversifying the platform. We're kind of taking over the globe right now over here on Real Vibes TV. So you can call it Real Vibes News. when it comes to covering the news, and we can call it Real Vibes TV when it comes to covering dancehall. So when don't know, so like up a live man, people. Yeah. So regular. We're definitely not gonna switch from the momentum we have right now. So it's a good look. Jamaica recover and we love to see it. Okay, so we have a few more articles. We have a few more articles before we get out of here. So right here we see that the call center agents them in Jamaica, them not get no money. Them a get standard rate. So them a say $200 an hour call center pay claims not consistent with standards. So we're gonna read this article right here before we get into the video, cause we need the perspective before we need the context.
Former Business Process Industry Association of Jamaica President, Gloria Henry, has challenged claims circulating in the media that some call center operators in Jamaica are paying workers as little as $200 per hour. According to Henry, the claim is not consistent with the compensation structures of compliant established BPOs, business process outsourcing, that operate under the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Act or the Companies Act of Jamaica or the National Labor Regulations in Jamaica that is governed by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
So hold on a minute right there. So you're telling me that certain call center are paying people $200 an hour, 200 Jamaican dollars. And so that means if the people them do 10 hours, that's 2,000 Jamaican dollar. And if you take lunch money out of that, if you take taxi money out of that, probably $1,000 I go left. How really I go in that country? People breaking news. So you have call center in Jamaica that's paying the people them $200 per hour. That's not enough. Because again, if they're getting paid $200 per hour, and if them do a 10-hour shift, which more likely is not a 10-hour, it's probably an 8-hour shift, so just call that 1,800 Jamaican dollar. If you take lunch money out of that, if you take taxi fare out of that, you're telling me that for 8 hours work, these people are just walking away with, let's say, 15 to 1,400 Jamaican dollar? Probably even less. What? And we know that call center agents is a huge job in Jamaica. Are we really going so? No, they need to fix this. We've played that video. Hold on the people. Let's get to the video.
A recent story in the media, but there's one part of it that hit us that we have to talk about, and that claim that call center operators are paying $200 per hour is not consistent with the compensation structures of compliant established BPOs that operate under the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Act or the Companies Act of Jamaica or the National Labor Regulations in Jamaica that is governed by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. BPOs know, and the Tier 1, Tier 2, and even Tier 3 operators know and must adhere to the statutory wage requirements for NIS contributions and employment standards. Base wages in the formal BPO sector are typically...
Okay, and another thing, people, remember I said, if they're getting $200 per hour and they do an 8-hour shift, that's like 1,800 Jamaican dollars for an 8-hour shift, roughly around that. And if they take out lunch money and also transportation money, and what I didn't take in consideration also tax and NI. So if they're taking all of these things outside of the people them pay, how much are they really walking away with per day? Like $1,000? Nah. That's sick right there. That's sick right there. Bam for that, bam. Yeah, that's sick right there.
Is structured around fixed hourly or salary compensation above the statutory minimum. So the average ranges from 400 to about 650 for base entry level rather. There's a
So we have to drop some bombs, we have to drop some lightning, cause corruption that. So again, y'all might miss what she said, but according to the laws of Jamaica, the minimum pay should be at least, I think she said $400 per hour. But according to what she's saying, that some of these call center agents are paying the people them $200 per hour, so they're not following the law. So again, this need to be rectified. We need to see a competent politician come to the public and address this. These are the things that they should address, because according to this professional right here, she's saying that the call center is unfairly paying these people $200 per hour when it should be at least $400 per hour according to the laws of Jamaica. So someone in the comment section, I think, mentioned something about it. Let me use my gimbal and go over to the right hand side very efficiently. So Mono is saying that they out here paying $350 an hour miss and $380 PBO should pay at least $700 an hour. So the people them should get at least $700 an hour according to the laws. I will say it again and again and again, and I will stand by it. That is what is said in office and is not always what happens out in the field. Yo, people, yeah, we don't like what's going on right here. We need a politician to address this, but let's continue.
Attendance incentives, performance-based commissions, overtime premiums, employee paid contributions, and employer paid contributions. Any verified breach, ladies and gentlemen, should be formally investigated, and we say that categorically. Bring the pay slips to the Secretariat, which is based at One Mangrove Way in Montego Bay. Email them to president@jsaj.org, because that would be half of the national minimum wage. And if that is out there, we as a country must call out that perpetrator. So there has been a
So again, if y'all miss what she said, what she's saying that if you work for a call agent in Jamaica and you're getting less than the minimum wage, like say for instance $200 per hour, you need to make sure you have your pay slip, and there's a specific office you can go to where you can show them your pay slip, and then they will go to that employer and deal with them accordingly. So again, big up to this lady right here, because again, she's showing us that she's looking out for the citizens of Jamaica right there. So people, big up on yourself. Again, we're kind of over time right here, but we just want to say that big up to all our people them we roll out and appreciate the news updates, you know what I mean? So big up to everybody we roll out. Again, if you're new here, remember we're doing weekly news updates. We're trying to do at least 4 to 5 world/Jamaica news updates weekly, and we're gonna do dancehall within that also. So if you're someone in the diaspora, someone in the world that's interested in any updates when it comes to the news updates in Jamaica, subscribe to the channel. And again, we cover dancehall as well, so you can subscribe. Big up to all of my original subscribers, everybody in the bush. Like up a live. It's very important, very, very important that you like up a live. It helps the channel get back into the algorithm and help YouTube to recommend the channel to a lot more people. So look out for more exciting live. And I actually had a segment today where I was going to give you all some videos in regards into the history of Jamaica, where Jamaica is coming from, what was the original people of the land. But we're going to leave that for tomorrow, which is going to be very exciting. So make sure y'all check back tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it will be the next day, but most likely tomorrow. But just subscribe, turn on the post notification bell, because tomorrow we're going to be giving y'all some history of Jamaica, playing y'all some videos, showing y'all some things that y'all have never seen before in regards into the history of Jamaica and a lot of things, you know. So subscribe to the channel, big up on yourself, check on out on the next one. I think we done over an hour and 40 minutes so far. So on the don't know it go already. Big up on yourself, like, share, and subscribe. If you want to join the membership to support the channel, much appreciated. We also have the super chat button you can click, and if you're watching on the playback, you can click the super thanks button where you can help to support the channel so we can continue to give you all the daily news coverage. So again, it's your boy Real Vibes TV, there in a living colors. Big up on yourself and check on out on the next one. Out. Big up on yourself.